Thank you very much.
As more people look for low-cost holidays, the region's campsites are reaping the benefit. Business is booming and bringing in more than £100 million a year across the east. This report is from Ian Balmer.
Another summer holiday and another bumper year for caravan and camping bookings in this region. With the rise in popularity of the staycation, business is booming.
People are staying in this country, definitely more and more, having to book up earlier to stay here, especially on some of the quality sites. The reason as well that a lot of people, although they can afford more, I think they like to come and show their children some of the more natural things around.
And this isn't the only site to be benefiting from the trend. The latest figures show that the number of trips to the east between 2008 and 2009 went from more than 500,000 to 800,000. And in that time, the amount of money spent in the region by those tourists went from £75 million to more than £100 million. Elsewhere in the region, the trend is proving so popular, other businesses are looking to jump on the bandwagon. The Manns in Hadley have a 16-acre plot. They're waiting to see if they can have permission to build pitches for 50 touring caravans.
We don't grow anything, we don't farm anything, we don't know much about animals or anything, so the best thing we thought today was to get...
Just share it.
Well, was to let people come in to it, because it's a lovely landscape. There's nothing about here, it's very quiet. All fields, all surrounded woods and everything else, so we thought the best thing to do with it is probably just bring people into it and let them see it.
Come September, the Manns will know if they have permission to go ahead with their plans to become part of this growing tourism business. Ian Balmer, BBC Look East.
Well, later in the programme, would you mortgage your house to make a film? And getting ready for the big time.
There's a call today to scrap the Regional Fire Service call centre. It was set up under the last government to handle all 999 calls from across East Anglia, but it was over budget and has never been used so far. Now the coalition government says local councils will be able to opt out if they want.
It's cost £24 million to build, but it's years behind schedule and massively over budget. This was designed to be the regional call centre for East Anglia's 6 fire services. But now the new government says councils don't have to join up, and that pleases at least one local councillor.
I want our own fire authority, now that they've got the freedom from the minister to say we can now walk away, I want them to walk away. I want them to discuss the option now to further update our existing facility at Huntingdon and do it at a fraction of the costs that it's costing us each month to pay our contribution to a building that's sitting there doing nothing.
Cambridgeshire's Chief Fire Officer says, I believe the centres are the best way forward, as the technology and integrated way of working will increase the resilience of fire services in the eastern region. It is key we work together if a major cross-county disaster occurs. Those opposed to the move say the scheme should now be abandoned and the money spent upgrading existing call centres. Faye Southwell, BBC Look East.
Signalling problems near Ipswich meant a frustrating journey home for rail commuters today. Some National Express East Anglia services were cancelled and others were delayed by up to an hour. Network Rail says the problem was fixed late this afternoon. A man from Bishop Stortford has pleaded guilty to raping a woman in her 70s in Harlow last year. It happened just off London Road on May the 11th. David Catton, who's 43, pleaded guilty at Chelmsford Crown Court today. An investigation is still going on into the death of a powerboat racer in Harwich. 59-year-old Ian Sterling was killed when his boat hit a wave during a competition on Saturday. Another man who was in the boat is still in hospital.
Speedway fans in Suffolk say they're hopeful that the Fen Tigers in Mildenhall will ride again. The team hasn't raced for a month since their promoter pulled out. Takings on the gate were dropping and he'd lost £18,000 in a year.
Still on the TV, but it's not on this track. The Mildenhall Stadium has held Speedway here since the 1970s, but the former promoter left earlier this year for personal and financial reasons, and there's no one now to pay the bills.
It was costing more to run than what we were taking on the gates. And when I had to say enough was enough was when I got to the stage where I have run out of money and I just have no more money to put into it to keep it running.
Around 200 Fen Tigers fans turned up for a meeting yesterday, determined that the team would be riding again by next season, which starts in March.
Most of these fans have been coming to Speedway for, 20, 30 years. I mean, I think we first arrived in '79, so, and I do feel confident that people are passionate enough to want to keep it going.
They want a new promoter or maybe a group of fans to run the team. So far, there's no definite plan, and already the effects are being felt.
Well, obviously the riders now will look for other clubs, 2 of our riders have already been contacted by other clubs, and unfortunately they have to go away from Mildenhall for the rest of this season, and then we look to build a new team, for next year.
The stadium hosts other sports like greyhound and stock car racing, which will keep it afloat, and there should be a decision on how the Tigers will be saved before Christmas. Jenny Kirk, BBC Look East.
The police are appealing for witnesses after a woman was sexually assaulted in Essex this weekend. The woman was attacked in the early hours of Saturday morning at Lockside Marina near the riverside in Chelmsford. The police have only given a limited description of the man. He's described as being of mixed heritage and wearing glasses. The new Ipswich town coach Gary Ablett is being treated in hospital for cancer after being taken seriously ill last week. Seen here, sitting next to Roy Keane, he joined town at the start of pre-season training and recently agreed a one-year contract. It's understood he has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a type of blood cancer. Southend United has avoided being forced into administration by the taxman. It appeared in the High Court today following a series of legal hearings over unpaid tax bills. The club has convinced Revenue and Customs that debts have been paid.
A roadshow to help young people stay fit has been set up in Ipswich. It's called Change for Life and it's run by the local NHS. The latest figures for Ipswich show that nearly a third of all children aged between 10 and 11 are overweight.
Busy families can find it hard to fit in regular exercise and to eat the right meals. But today, the Change for Life roadshow took to the streets of Ipswich, promoting the importance of a healthy lifestyle.
What we're hoping today is to give them some advice and support so that they are clear about how they can take the first steps to maybe just exercising a tiny bit more, and give them some advice on the eating, because we know that people get confused by what they hear.
This initiative has helped young people like 15-year-old Louise Palmer, who wanted to get fit. With some encouragement from her mum, she joined a Change for Life course at Ipswich Town Football Club.
The course has helped me to be more active as a person, how you could cut down on your food and the amount of water you should be drinking and what activity to do when you're not there. And it's made me more confident in myself, and I dress different because I feel better.
Recent figures show children in Ipswich have the poorest health in Suffolk. 20% of 4 and 5-year-olds are overweight, and nearly a third of 10 and 11-year-olds. The Change for Life organisers hope to make Suffolk the healthiest county by 2028. And with families like the Palmers taking steps now, they're on track to succeed. Dawn Gerber, BBC Look East, Ipswich.